On 90.5 WUOL, I'm Laura Atkinson. Thanks to Kiana Dell for handing it over to us live in our performance studio here in downtown Louisville, where we are so thrilled to have performing for us Chanticleer, the all-male vocal ensemble out of San Francisco. They're here as a part of the American Choral Directors Association conference, and we're thrilled that they were able to come stop by our studios for our members-only event. We have lots of familiar faces here in the studio, lots of smiling faces, very eager to hear this group. So without further ado, I hope you'll help me welcome Chanticleer.
I eat the sun, I drink the light. I am a conjurer, my sugar is self-sacrifice. I cut my arm to feed my leg. I am waiting for nothing, needing for nothing. I am an army, I am the mother of them all. I can regenerate. I clone a nation from my foot. I am a country of one. I am a family. I am a household. I have skin and I can bruise, and I can bleed, and I can cry. I make my friends, we are connected, we are inseparable, we grow intertwined. We share the sky. I can give and I can care for. I've got other mouths to feed. They need me. They need me. I am a tree. I know secrets that you will never know. I channel lightning. I see in color. I make the air you need to grow. I'm not a man. I'm not a woman. No, never. I'm both. And when I know that I must die, I put the best of me back into the ground. I stretch for miles and miles and miles and miles and miles and miles. And let's not forget my leaves, clouds of green, green, clouds of green.
Stunning. So beautiful. That was Chanticleer live in our performance studio here in downtown Louisville at 90.5 WUOL. We are so thrilled to have you guys here. I'm with Jared Pagenkopf, the education director and also a singer in Chanticleer. Jared, can you tell us what we just heard?
Yeah, I feel like maybe an introduction to that last song might have been useful. I'll back up even farther. We opened up with Lost in the Stars from Kurt Weill's 1949 musical Lost in the Stars. That's an arrangement for us by the legendary arranger Gene Perling, who had a great relationship with Chanticleer back in the late 90s and early 2000s. That piece you just heard was called I Am a Tree and comes from a song cycle called The Rivers Are Our Brothers. This is by a performer, composer, musician, artist, one of these, very multi-talented people named Majel Connery. And she wrote that song. She wrote the texts for that song, and she took it as a basis, or took a speech attributed to Chief Seattle, who implored people to treat the earth as they would their own family. And so she has written a set of pieces that really personify all these aspects of nature, give them a voice, and sort of make us think about these things that we see every day in maybe a slightly different very compelling way.
You know, with Chanticleer, well, with hearing an all-male ensemble, it's always such a unique and very moving experience. But with Chanticleer, we're not just hearing the low tones of the voice, we're hearing the full range of the human voice. Can you tell us what we're hearing and how we're hearing that?
Well, I can tell you what. I don't know if I can tell you how. That's the great mystery. Fair. No, I'm just kidding. So Chanticleer has always prided itself on having the full spectrum of voice parts. So we have, obviously, basses and tenors, as you just mentioned, and we also have countertenors that are covering the parts that would typically be sung by altos and sopranos in a mixed choir of men and women. And so we've always had a nice, healthy collection of countertenors in an ensemble, and we have the most countertenors per capita of any ensemble in the United States.
Congratulations.
And we do have a designated survivor somewhere. But really, we're basically singing in what some people might think of as a falsetto or a head voice. So most of us, I think all of us, have voices that can dip down. Well, we all do have voices that dip down into tenor and baritone, and in some cases bassland. But we sing primarily using a lighter mechanism that allows us to sing some of these higher tones that you hear.
You spoke just a moment ago about this, but the concept of this tour is called
Music of a Silent World.
Music of a Silent World. Was there a specific source of inspiration for coming up with this, maybe examining the human relationship to the natural world for this tour?
Well, obviously, the way we interact with nature is becoming more and more of an issue. However you look at it. And so we thought for the last couple of years that we wanted to do a program that sort of calls attention to our relationship with nature. And our music director, Tim, actually heard Majel perform her entire song cycle, The Rivers Are Our Brothers, and went up to her after the concert and said, you need to arrange these for Chanticleer. And so she did. And so that piece, I'm a Tree, is just one of kind of the centerpiece song cycle on our program. And they sort of call attention to environmental issues without sort of banging you over the head with it. And we also have paired with that some songs by Max Reger, a turn of the 20th century German composer and organist who wrote a beautiful set of songs, part songs for men's choir that take texts from those German Romantic poets who very much adored nature and took inspiration from nature. And so they actually, these early 20th century, very, strict German pop songs paired with these kind of, quirky kind of, almost metal rock-ish kind of very contemporary things really juxtaposes how these two very different genres can have the same kind of meaning, can really make us feel the same kinds of things in different ways.
Well, that's interesting. That makes me think about, I think one of the things that Chanticleer is really well known for is early music, like Renaissance motets, even earlier chant, that kind of thing. But on this tour, on this album, you are doing covers of pieces like from Joni Mitchell and from Tom Petty also, right?
Yep.
And it makes me wonder, I'm curious, is there a switch that has to happen vocally or musically when you go from something like a Renaissance motet to a Joni Mitchell cover?
I think definitely there is. But I think the production is pretty much the same. We're just doing a little bit stylistic differences. Obviously, the Renaissance stuff and the early music stuff requires less inflection in a certain way and less kind of croony and kind of slides and things like that. And we don't always do those kinds of things. But it's easier to add that. Well, I should be careful what I say. But we do use some of those techniques, let's say that, to kind of make the early music sound different from Tom Petty and Joni Mitchell. But at the basis of it all, there's still a solid vocal technique that we are using to make the same sounds happen.
Yeah, I imagine the vocal technique has to be extremely strong when you are touring as much as you all do and singing as much repertoire as you do. And speaking of the tour, I'm kind of curious to know, it seems like you work in a collective ownership type of way. And so everyone is a singer, but also has a role to play in the tour. Is that right?
Yes and no. I mean, there are certain of us who have literal other jobs to do during the tour. Like I am also, in addition to being the education coordinator, I'm also the assistant music director. So that when our music director, Tim, doesn't travel with us, I'm basically the de facto leader musically of the group. We also have a road manager who takes care of all of our logistical things, making sure that we all get from the airport to the hotel, which
is not easy.
No, and so that's a big job too. But then we also have certain folks who take care of like our social media presence, and we have some diversity initiatives that we're trying to work on, and some of us are focusing heavily on that. And so there are opportunities to do more than just be a singer. But there are some that have come through and they said, I only want to sing. And we're fine with that too. So we luckily have a big enough group among us that we can evenly distribute things, extra tasks as we need to.
Well, it's obviously working very well. You sound wonderful. Tell us what we're going to hear next.
Oh, these next two songs, we're going to keep the tree theme going. The next piece you're going to hear is called Willow Weep for Me. This is kind of an old jazz standard from the early 20th century, written by the unbelievable Anne Ronell. This is an arrangement for us by our music director, Emeritus Joe Jennings. If any of you have heard that Our American Journey album, this is on that album. And if you have that album, you have a collector's item because they're so hard to come by. And then we're going to end our time with you today with Joni Mitchell. This is her Both Sides Now, which is such a lovely piece of music. And as we have found that we've been singing it over the last couple of seasons, it begins to take a different meaning as you progress through your life.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
and I just wanted to do one little plug that this last song, Both Sides Now, is on our latest studio album, On a Clear Day, which is available to stream everywhere.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that. Once again, we are live here in the Performance Studio at 90.5 WUOL. And we are so happy to have our members here, our wonderful members who support us here at Louisville Public Media. And we're thrilled to have Chanticleer here performing from their most recent tour. So please help me welcome once again Chanticleer.
and ice cream castles in the air, and feather canyons everywhere. I've looked at clouds that way, but now they only block the sun. They rain and snow on everyone. So many things I would have done, but clouds got in my way. I've looked at clouds from both sides now, from up and down, and still somehow it's cloud illusions I recall. I really don't know clouds at
Moons and Junes and Ferris wheels, the dizzy dancing way that you feel as every fairy tale comes real. I looked at love that way, but now it's just another show. You leave them laughing when you go, and if you care, don't let them know. Don't give yourself away.